Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Wednesday. It is July 14th. This will be our chart lesson for today, and I'm doing this a little bit early, a little bit before the 3 o'clock cutoff time. Unfortunately, I need to be out of here by 3 o'clock today, so I'm going to try to get through this. Not a lot of trades to talk about. It's another range day. You can see the overnight lows, the overnight highs were here. We went a little higher than that just after the open, and then we trended down, and we've recovered some of that, but mostly just going sideways in this blue channel here, as you can, or blue range, as you can see, and you can clearly see that midline. Price is playing off it, so I believe this is fairly accurate here. So anyway, that's the way I saw it today. It's just a range day, and you might have been better off just to play these short-term trends and channels. There's even another one here that I didn't draw. We're just getting so far away from the EMA for so long. It's just not worth trying to take these trades in here. Yeah, they might keep moving just like this one did, but they could be a little, I mean, you get yourself in trouble trying to trade those for the most part. We need to wait on a bigger correction by the time you get down. This was about the last place I would have, right around this midline, that I would have wanted to take a short. But way down here, you can see it's not long before it's rocketing the other way. And if you get caught in that, there's no way you can ride that out. So you're going to get stopped out. So anyway, that's the way I see it, a range day today. So I'm going to zoom in here. We'll go through the trades. And I'm probably going to move a little quickly because I do need to get out of here today. So I'll try to explain them thoroughly as I can, but as quick as I can too. So, but anyway, 7 o'clock came as we're starting to rally up here. I mean, there's not much happening here in the early overnight. But as we get into the 7 o'clock, you can see that's when the steam starts to pick up and prices start to move again. And so that's why I usually say you can start trading safely around 7 o'clock or so. I don't see anything I really like here. There's a little, this is just too sideways here. There's a little bit of a hidden second entry, but I just wouldn't enter that. I just don't think it's worthwhile. If you wait just a minute, you'll get a second entry. And we came back here and pretty much had a double bottom, and we got close to the EMA, and there's a second entry along there, and you do have enough room to get out before you get to the highs. And we're probably going to retest that high anyway and make a new high. You don't know how far it'll go, so you got to be really careful and make sure you got room to get out. But as long as you got room to get out, you can take that trade. And there's actually a little failed second entry long here, but it's on the wrong side of the EMA. Yeah, it does close on this side. You might go short right there. You just have to be real careful on these strong rallies because it can trap you here and shoot back up again. And so I'm a little hesitant with them. But you may have taken that one. I think that meets our criteria because it does close below the EMA. I would have rather see it push through the EMA and pull back and test it, though, to be an ideal reversal type pattern. Then we're kind of working sideways, but you can see we're still making lower lows and lower highs. And you make a new low here, and you get a first entry and a second entry off of, we've tested that resistance across there multiple times. And so I like going short right there. Quick, easy move. You don't get much else out of it. Then you come back up and you get another first entry and then another second entry there. So it doesn't look like it here. Let me move this. But this is a second entry short. Notice you're working down and you get the break lower and then it went higher again and then turned back down. So when it broke lower right below that bar, that is a second entry short. So it's a little different of a second entry, but it's a second entry short all the same. So, and it's right off what looks to be a key entry point. Early on, it was hard to know if this was a spike in channel or if this was a two-tier channel. It looks like a two-tier channel to me, and that's the way I played it and called it. So you can clearly see prices working off that midline down through there. And that was a pretty nice move there. You get the break, move to a new low. Then you're working up, close outside, new high, and a second entry short right there. Plenty of room back to the EMA. And hopefully we go and make a new low, and we would have. So that's another great move right there. and then you make a new swing low right there. So a first entry, and you're coming up, and when it broke below that red bar, another second entry short, and that's a big, nice bearish bar. You could also look at that as a little bit of congestion with a failed breakout, and off we're going again to the races. Another nice trade with another runner for it as well. However, you do have a break and a couple of legs down now. So, but this trend channel right here is definitely in play, and we get a little bit of an overshoot, and then you get a first entry, second entry. But I don't like going short in that congestion. But when it tried to go higher again, you get a failure right there, and it breaks higher and turns down. You may take that trade. You got to go short near the lows. What you might do is let it break lower and drop a limit order in a few ticks back and see if you can get a little better entry. I'd probably just skip that trade altogether, but there's a good chance we're going to make another move down, at least to test these lows right here, and just make sure you got enough room to get out. I'd probably skip it, but it fits our criteria if you can get enough room if you can get in with enough room to get out at those lows there. And then of course it tries to go lower and then eventually bounces, and you can see how fast it rockets out of there, and you get a first entry and a second entry. But I don't like going long there because it's not back to the EMA, and you do already have some closes outside with a new high. So I would wait, and then suddenly you get a second entry here. So that's going to probably trap people to the short side. And when it breaks higher, you're probably going to push on up pretty quickly. So you may take that trap as well. It's still a trap. It's a triple test. You made that low on that bar. You test it once. You test it twice. It does break lower first and then turn up. Problem is looks a little congestive, and you got to go long at the highs. So I'd probably skip it over, but you may want to take that one. It's a little aggressive. So of course we run on up, and we're just chopping sideways here. I don't see anything that makes this worth going short here. There's a double top there, so first entry long and a first entry short. I don't think you can want to do anything with that. And of course we bounce here, and you get a first entry, second entry, and this one bounces. That's what a good reversal looks like. So I like going long right there, and you can see it how quickly it runs up real quick and hits those stops. People saying, oops, I messed up here. It takes it a little while to push on up, but you probably would have already been out of that one. You probably just didn't get a runner here. And then it tries to go lower once, twice. So if it breaks higher after this point right here, it's a failure. But it actually tries to come down again, and you get a little triple test, and it turns back up. So you could go long. I don't know if I'd wait to go long up here. You could, but I think you probably have to play this one on the trap when it breaks above that bar right there. And of course your safety stop would have to go below this bar until this one closed if you did play that engulfing. Of course you got this little channel working up. You get a break, new high. It looks like a failure right there, but that's too congestive. I wouldn't go short right there. And in fact, it ends up giving you a chance to get in at the lows down here. Probably going to try to test this high again, but at the very least, you just have enough room to get out before here. And if you do, I like taking that. It's not a great trade, still a little aggressive, but you're just really playing a little small congestion or range there. I'll draw it here just so it's a little clear. Probably draw it like that right there. And so you got a chance to get in at the lows of that. Of course it fails. You try to go higher once, twice, and it fails. So if it breaks lower here, you got the trap. Boom, off it goes. And then you got a first entry here, and you never really got a second entry on this one. I don't think I'd take that first entry, although you might look at that as you got a high there first. You tested it there, you test it there, but I think you're pushing it this late in the day. And that gets us to 245, so we're only going to miss the last 15 minutes or so. My guess is we're going to test these lows here. That would be my target, what I'd be looking for. And we have this channel coming down. We do have the close outside, but we don't have a new low yet. So my guess is we'd at least test this at a minimum. We'll see. All you got to do is make one tick lower than that, and we fulfilled the channel rules anyway. But I would still think we'd probably test these lows. We'll just have to see what happens. So, and that's what I saw today. So again, it's just a range day. And you can see that if I back on out. There's your overnight movement, and 95% of the day's price action is right in the middle of that, or inside of that, I would say, and probably 50% of it's in the middle of it. So anyway, hope you had a good trading day. Sorry I had to rush through this just a little bit, but I got to get out of here, and I did want to get this done and get it posted and have it up there for you. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up, and believe it or not, we'll be back tomorrow to wrap up another week. I can't believe it's already Wednesday. It's amazing how fast the weeks are going by. The summer's going to be over, and hopefully in fall the volatility will pick back up again. And although there's some good movement here today and some good opportunities, if you understand what's going on, if you don't understand what's going on, this can be hard to trade. But if you understand what's going on here, that we're just in a range day and you got to play the trends up and down and narrow into these more micro trends if you need to be, and it'll help you, at least help you know when you're on the right side or not. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again tomorrow and wrap up our week. I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.